Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to your another session of your online classes. Children, today I am going to start sixth lesson, and the name of the lesson is tissue. Okay, and children, today is the first part of the lesson. Okay, now just let me remind you that children, I have finished first lesson, second lesson. These two lessons were from chemistry. Lesson number 5 I have finished, and lesson number 14. These two were from your bio portion, children. I finished lesson number 8 and lesson number 9. They were from your physics portion. Now, today again I am starting with your sixth part of the lesson, sixth lesson, tissue, which is a part of your bio portion. Okay, and children, let's start with the topic for today. I hope now before you start learning and revising this lesson number 6, just go through your lesson number 5 PPT just randomly, and you will be able to understand this lesson in a better way. Now children, I start with the difference between unicellular organism and the multicellular organism. One of the major difference, as such there were many differences, but children, my topic here is a very particular one. One of the major difference between unicellular organism and multicellular organism is division of labor exists. Now what is meant by division of labor? Division of labor means in multicellular organism, children, there are different cells that are designed to perform different functions. That means process of respiration will be done by a group of cells. Uh, Reproduction, a group of cells are there to do the process of reproduction. If growth is concerned, there are group of cells that are designed to do different functions. Okay, and children, in your 8th standard you have also studied about the different levels of living organism. Okay, so today I'll be teaching you the first level of organization, and that is about the tissue. So one of the major difference between unicellular and multicellular organism is division of labor. Division of labor, again I am explaining, children, that different cells are designed to perform different functions. Respiration, a group of cell will do. Reproduction, a group of cell will do. Movement, a group of tissue will do. The giving response to stimulus, a group of tissue will be doing. Okay. So children, let us understand what is meant by tissue. Now, children, during the process of evolution of life, okay, it is believed that first a prokaryotic cell came into existence. After that, a eukaryotic cell came into existence. The eukaryotic living organism was also unicellular. But with passage of time, children, group of cells, they combined each other and they started living together, so that each one of the cell is mutually benefited. And in this way, this concept of tissue came into the on the earth. Okay, so what is meant by tissue? Tissue are the group of cells that have got similar structure, and they perform a specific function. What is meant by tissue? These are the group of cells that have similar structure and perform a specific function. Okay, now children, let us go to further. Again, before I teach you about the plant tissues and the animal tissues, let me give you, children, some of the, as such there are many differences between the plants and the animals, not the cell, plants and the animals that you have studied in your lower classes. But children, my concept is little bit different, so let me teach you from that perspective. Okay, plants, they have got a unlimited growth. Means a plant can grow throughout their lifetime. Even if you cut a very huge tree, you will find, children, after 2 to 3 months again it has flourished and it has grown. But children, for animal, something is broken, okay, a part of the body is damaged, then that particular part of the body cannot be repaired, or animals cannot regrow their different damaged body parts. By mistake, a dog loses its one of its leg, but with passage of time, that new leg will not come. But in case of plant, new leg can come. Okay? And children, plants, they grow, keep on growing throughout their lifetime. But animals, they grow up to a limited growth. And children, this concept you have studied in 8th standard about the hormones, right? Endocrine glands. Plants can repair their dead part at any phase of life, but but the animals can repair only up to a particular phase of life, and that to certain part of the body. If your nails are over cut, if your hair have gone too short, they will come after some time. But children, if something happens to your toes, your knees, it cannot be replaced on its own. Plants, they are autotrophic, that means they can make their own food, whereas animals, they are directly or indirectly dependent on the green plants for their food. Plants, they cannot move, they remain at one place throughout their life, whereas animals, in the search of food and for their personal protection, children, they keep on moving from one place to another. And children, these four differences, they have given rise to huge difference between the structure of a plant and the structure of an animal. And which eventually find children that plants are made up of different type of plant tissues, animals are made up of different type of animal tissues. So I'm here just today we'll begin with the plant tissue, and children, this is just a glimpse of different type of plant tissues. I know you must be getting worried what are these names ma'am is going to take, but children, as and when I will cover this topic, I will keep on showing you this chart again and again so that you understand and you will learn the names also. I know they are a little bit tricky one, but once you understand them, you will enjoy their names, right? So, children, my topic for today is the meristematic tissue. Okay. Now, meristematic tissues, they are the plant tissues which have got the capacity to divide continuously, and they help in the growth of the plant. Meristematic tissue are the plant tissue that have ability to divide actively throughout its lifetime, and they are also mass of undifferentiated cells. Okay. Now, children, what are the characteristics of meristematic tissue? First of all, they are living tissues. Now, children, you will be surprised, ki, ma'am, what is this first line? Yes, in case of plant, certain tissues are living while certain tissues are dead. So, meristematic tissues are living tissues. So, and children, their cell wall is very thin, because they have to continuously divide. That is why their cell wall is very thin, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose. In our coming topic, you will understand that cell wall also has different components, right? Now, their shape may be rounded, they may be oval, they may be polygonal, or they may be rectangular in shape. Okay. Now, intercellular spaces are absent. Now, what does this mean by this intercellular spaces? Now, children, spread your hand. When you spread your hand, do you find distance in between your fingers? Do you find the spaces present in between your fingers? Yes. Now, close your hand and make a fist. एक मुट्ठी बना लीजिए tight. Okay. Are there spaces now? No, now no spaces are there. So same way, intercellular spaces means the spaces which are present in between the cells, they are absent in case of meristematic tissue. Since they are living tissues, so cytoplasm is very dense because the metabolic activities are very high here. The nucleus is prominent, that means the nucleus can be seen very easily. Now, these are living tissues, and children, they keep on dividing all the time. So, they either have no vacuole or very few vacuoles, and that too they are very small. Okay, meristematic cells are usually very young. Now, they do not store food, and they have very high metabolic activity, and they possess a single nucleus, this I told you just now. Now, children, based on the now meristematic tissue are of three types. Based on the location of meristematic tissues are of three types: apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, and the intercalary meristematic tissue. Okay. Now, children, about these tissues we'll study in our next class. And as such, you have today your science exam. So please prepare yourself well for the exam, and we will continue this topic in our next class. Thank you, children. This is all for today.